Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Eva Medilek, your high performance coach, and I am here to share with you today about my feelings and my opinion. I'm just going to say it. It's my feelings and my opinion, but also some facts about the criticism that Prince Harry is receiving for his memoir. You know, a lot of healing happens when we have the courage to share our story. A story not shared doesn't serve, and our stories can be someone else's survival guide. Now, this young man in the monarchy has been criticized and raked over the coals, if you will, for sharing his story and his experience, for his attempt to heal some of the pain and trauma that he's experienced as a young man, losing his mother at a young age and growing up in an environment that stifles your emotions and feelings, and also being hounded by the paparazzi and just all of the things that we're learning about going on inside of the monarchy. And hi, everybody who's joining now. Nice to see you here. What I want to share with people is the power in sharing your story, the power in sharing your experience, and how not only does it help you heal from what you've experienced that caused pain and trauma and discomfort, but sharing your story also helps others heal. We feel less alone. We feel like somebody gets us. We feel that people that we put on this pedestal, who are perceived as perfect, are human beings just like you and me. They, when you cut them, they bleed, right? And sometimes we have this fantasy notion of people that, you know, they're not experiencing pain and grief and trauma on the same level that we are. And I think it's very powerful that this young man is sharing his story. I think that, you know, with the mental health struggles that he's had since his mom's death and some other things that have gone on in his life, the power in sharing his story and the hundreds, maybe thousands of people that his share will help is vitally important. And so, you know, like I said before, a story, if I can speak properly, a story not shared doesn't serve, and your story can be someone else's survival guide. Now, of course, let me share this with a caveat that, you know, as we share our stories as a part of our healing process, we still need to achieve some degree of healing to get to a place where we can share. And so, what do I mean by that? You want to share from your scars, the healing scars of your wound, and not the open, gaping, oozing, bloody um, pain of your wound. So that means that some healing has to happen so that you can get to the point to share your story without being rewounded, if you will, because the criticism is hard. You know, the fear that we have of what other people are going to think, what are they going to say, um, who are we going to hurt in the sharing of our own story. Let me just check some of the messages here. James, nothing special is about him, and that's the point. Okay. Yes, we all have our stories. My question is, we all get, my point in sharing is, we all get to share our stories. And the more that we are in a position to have an influence, the more people we can help. So that's what I'm sharing. It doesn't mean that he's any special. There are plenty of people who have lost parents at a young age. There are plenty. I can speak this morning, really. Trust me, I can. There are plenty of people who have had traumatic experiences in their lives. And there are plenty of people who are afraid to share those parts of them because of the fear of the criticism, the fear of people saying stuff like, "What makes you so special?" And the fear of actually hurting other people. And so I'm gonna say something that's gonna be really controversial right now about that. If you don't want to be in someone's healing story as a person who caused trauma, who facilitated trauma, who caused any pain or hurt, I would say to you, then stop doing dumb stuff that hurts other people. Be nice to people. Work on your own personal development so that you can show up as your best self in all situations. Not saying that we all have to be perfect, because we don't, and there's no way we could be. But if you're going to hurt somebody and inflict pain and trauma and be a source of the trauma that they need to heal from, don't get upset if you end up in somebody's memoir or end up in somebody's blog or ends up somebody sharing how you inflicted pain. Don't get mad about it, because if you want people to speak nice about you, do nice things. And even when you do, not everybody's going to speak nice about you. People are going to have criticism. Oh, this is on my lip. Distraction. People are going to have criticism no matter what you do. The point is to be visible, to have an impact, and not to just take up space in this world without trying to leave it better for you having been in it. So my hat is off to Harry. My hat is also off to Megan for sharing her experience. And it's important to note that it's their experience. The other people in those stories have their own experience. It doesn't make anybody right or wrong. It doesn't make anybody right or wrong. When I'm sharing my experience, it's my experience. It's what I take away from it. It's what I experienced by what you said, what you did, what I went through, the pain I felt. It's my personal experience. And the sharing of experiences is what's powerful here. And the barrage of criticism, snarky remarks, what does he have to complain about? He's got millions of dollars. They're making money. All of that stuff is what causes people to shut down. Because honestly, who wants to be on the end of that level of criticism and vile that's being spewed because we're sharing our experience about how we've been hurt, how we grew up, the trauma that we experienced. I'm just here to say to people that I'm team sharing stories. If the royal family, the monarchy wants to share theirs, I'll be team there sharing them from their perspective and their experience. It's important to just listen to people's shared stories and believe them. Believe them. It's so why this world is so divisive and not inclusive because of how we treat other people's stories and experiences. And it shuts us down. And most conflict happens when people don't feel seen. Well, they don't feel heard. They don't feel acknowledged and understood. And they shut down because of it. They shut down, and holding all of the pain and the trauma and the grief that we feel is not healthy. And we shut down because of people's reactions to what we share. Now, everybody has a right to their opinion and reaction. And I'm just here to say, just be kind. It's his experience. This is how he experienced. Believe him that this is how he felt. This is how he feels. Believe others when they share with you how they feel and how they felt. And they'll just say, nah, that can't be true. And you should be grateful and all of that. You're hearing all these things. I'm sure you're all hearing things. But he's sharing his personal story. So I'm just saying that I admire and acknowledge him for being brave enough to break with tradition, to break out of the institution and share his story so that people can have a clearer understanding of what his experience was. And I'm sure it's a part of his healing from whatever depression or grief or whatever it is label we want to put on what his feeling and why he had to leave the country of his birth. And a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of you on here may know people or had the experience yourself where you had to leave the country of your birth in one way or another to feel freer to express yourself, to feel freer to live a life you want to live. And so I acknowledge you as well for having that courage and that bravery. All right, guys, I'm going to stop my rant now. I appreciate you for being on, for listening, and share this video out if it is something that kind of resonates and lands with you, and you know other people who might be served from it, because like I said, a story not shared doesn't serve. And how can we help others in sharing our story? So with that, have a wonderful day. And I appreciate you for being on. Let me just read some of the comments here. And the bad shut down the good. When people have more empathy and being respectful to every living being, we live in a more beautiful world. Beautiful, Anne. Couldn't have said it better myself. Chrismel, we learn from other stories, and that's a framework of change. Mic drop, Chrismel. Love that. Stories or narratives that has a relevance and meanings. Respect different. Yes, we got to respect different perspectives. We come into this world with our own worldview based on our experiences, and not everybody shares that. And it's just beautiful when we can open up our hearts and our empathies, like Anne said, to hear the stories of other people. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you all for joining. Have a great week, and I will try to be on next week. I'm actually having a little surgery and next Tuesday, so we'll see how I feel on Wednesday. But I'll pop on at some point, so keep your eyes peeled. Have a great day. Bye.